to tell you about the Cherokee tear dress. A lot of people would call it tear dress because they think of the Trail of Tears, but it's actually a tear dress, like you tear a piece of paper or you tear material. And the reason it's called a tear dress is when, first of all, this wasn't the traditional outfits for Cherokee people. We would wear hide from deer or things like that. So when the Europeans came, we traded for cloth, and we didn't have like really sharp scissors or anything like that. So we tore our material and we made designs from it. So that's why it's called a tear dress. A more traditional tear dress is something that I have on. It is darker in color. I'll stand over here. It's darker in color. There's usually a complementary pattern or color, so a solid color. There's not a lot of ribbon. I only have a few ribbons. You can really see the missionary influence with the long sleeve and the long dress, and I'm all covered up. So if you've ever been in Oklahoma or even maybe the southeast of the United States, this is not what you would want to wear because it's so hot and humid. But this is really influenced by the missionaries. So this is your traditional tear dress. Oops. Let me talk a little bit about our, we don't have a lot of jewelry or flashy items. This is a medallion style necklace. We use these beads called corn beads. And these beads, some people think we use it because they look like tears and they think it's a trail of tears. Actually, it's just the corn. Corn's really important staple in our diet, and traditionally we were really great farmers. Cherokee people were really good farmers, and it's one of the items that we grew. This medallion in particular has the sacred fire in the middle and then the 7 clans around it. So you might see girls wearing a medallion or just a plain corn bead necklace like this, just really simple. And then the other thing you might see women wearing are these belts. They're wampum belts. Now they're finger woven, but a long time ago, Cherokee people would have these belts as ways to keep history, to tell the tribe, you know, maybe there was a drought, maybe there was a war, but it was a way to, people could read them, and it was a way to tell history of things that happened in our tribe. And this is a picture of Redbird Smith. He's from the Nighthawk Keetoowah band. He was one of our leaders, and he kept these belts. So now women wear them around their waist just as an accent and to remember it was part of our history. Nowadays, you'll see a lot of other women wearing more colorful dresses. They're brighter, they're flashier, there's a lot more ribbon work. This pattern right here with the flowers, that's a calico design. You'll see more of a satin dress, or maybe it's a solid color. So the dresses have changed over time to be a little bit more flashier and maybe appealing to the eye. Our family likes to wear a more traditional outfit. That's just how we were raised. And the woman who made this was Laureen Drywater, and she made all of my dresses, and this was the last dress she ever made. So I feel really privileged that she was able to make these dresses for me. And then this is just a picture of me and my sister during my graduation and our dresses. And it's just a comparison to my friend Sosha, who was the Miss Indian OU in 2006. She had a lot more contemporary dresses. So just wanted to show the difference between contemporary versus more traditional outfits. Next, we're going to talk about stickball. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then I'll show you some of the items. So stickball is a traditional game. It's played socially, it's played ceremonially. It's usually played on the east side of Stomp Dance grounds. There's a huge pole, and I will show you some pictures. There's a huge pole, and the object of the game is to hit a fish or a bird, or sometimes a skull of a cow on top. There's a piece of board that you try to hit on the very top of the pole. The bird or fish is worth 7 points, and then there's a line down the pole just a few feet down from it, and that's worth 1 point. So if you can hit the pole or the fish, your team scores. Men use stickball sticks. These are actually Creek stickball sticks, but they were given to me. They're really similar to Cherokee sticks. They're really heavy, they're really big, and if you were to get hit with them, they really, really hurt. So But these are men's stickball sticks. And these I have are a little boy's stickball sticks. These are much lighter. These kind of remind me of Chickasaw stickball sticks or Choctaw stickball sticks. But these are made by William Cabbagehead. He was a really well-known stickball maker, and he didn't have any children. He was the last of his name. His last name was Cabbagehead, and I think that was really cool. Anyway, these are the, one of the last pair of sticks he made for my brother, actually, and my brother gave them to my boys. So these are for little guys. But men play with stickball sticks, and women don't use anything. Cherokee women, we don't use stickball sticks at all. Some other tribes do. They let their women use them. But Cherokee women, we just use everything else. We use our shoes, we use our hands, we use anything. No rules. This isn't a traditional stomp dance ground, but I wanted to show it because it's a good example of what you might see if you were to go to a stomp dance ground or a traditional ceremonial stomp dance ground, and where you would see the stickball field. So when you go to a stomp dance, there's no pictures, so I wouldn't be able to find pictures of that. And then in stickball, there's no rules. It was traditionally used to settle arguments, sometimes between whole tribes, sometimes between Creeks and Cherokees if there was a disagreement. Instead of going to war, they would take it to the field, you know. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of players playing at one time. Now it's mainly for competition, or it's for a social game. When women are playing, it's usually for fun and a social game. I wanted to include this picture because this is what I envision when our ancestors would play, and hundreds of men were out there playing. Just a huge, I don't even know how you organize that, but it was a brutal game. It still can be a brutal game. It's tough, it's fun. Even we can teach our younger children how to play now. And then this is just a picture of some of the men. Even nowadays, you'll see a lot of the men who play. They take it very seriously. Stickball players who are very committed to the game. They don't let anybody touch their sticks, especially women. And some of them are very devoted to the game and have very specific rules. But even men who play it now, who are serious about it, they will look like this. They won't have any shirts, and they'll just have shorts. I really like this picture because it shows how competitive it is, and that there's a crowd. Everybody likes to watch it. You notice this man here in the background. Sometimes there'll be men who are kind of dressed really nice, and you can tell they're not playing. They're kind of like the referees, making sure that it's all in good fun, or people aren't getting too hurt, it's not getting too rough. But they're usually like the elders, the elderly men, bossing the young ones around. So I like to show this picture because it really gives a scale on how tall these stickball poles or goals could be. I mean, you have to hit it way up there at the top, and then the line would be like right here. So it's a really difficult game. You have to be really fit. And I'll tell you a funny story about stickball. So we teach this to our youth. We have a smaller goal that we use so that it's more manageable. But we teach this in our summer day camp. When someone scores, you start all over, or right in the beginning, or when someone scores, everybody kind of rallies around the goal, and someone throws up the ball, and you're supposed to yell, "Woo!" or you're supposed to yell something. Well, my crazy kids, one family, their last name was Audubon, and they have a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of kids in our summer camp. So when they would throw the ball up, instead of yelling, the one boy goes, "Audubon!" like that. So then the whole camp after that was yelling, "Audubon!" when they would throw it up. It was so funny. So I always think about that when people are yelling, "Woo!" or whatever. He'll say, "Audubon!" Okay, next is I want to tell you about blowguns. This is kind of near and dear to my heart. My uncle kind of revived the making of blowguns. It wasn't popular for a long time, and then he started researching it, and he started making them. He worked for the Cherokee village. He was a teacher, and so he he was just really handy and made all kinds of Indian flutes, and he's just really crafty. So these are 2 blowguns he made me. I think I have 3 total from him, and they are made out of river cane. Some are long, some are short, some are really little. My son's is about this long, so it just depends. Some of the men make them really, really long. They were traditionally used to hunt small game like squirrels, fish, anything small. Now they're mainly used for competition, and you would shoot from the smaller end. So if you didn't know how to shoot it, you would look at both ends, and one is a little bit smaller, so that's the side that you're going to shoot from. And then new blowguns are lighter in color. So this one was my grandma's, and then this one is mine. So some people like to fancy it up. Maybe they put color on it, or maybe they put beads or whatever, but I'm kind of simple and I just keep it plain Jane. I'll tell you a little bit about blowgun darts. These are made out of bow dart wood traditionally, and the fuzzy part is called thistle. This is made out of cattail. If you go by, I always tell students, if you go by a river, you'll see those long plants, and they're kind of fuzzy, and all this stuff is flowing in the air. That's what this is. This is thistle. This can be really dangerous. When I'm showing students how to shoot a blowgun, I always tell them, you don't inhale the thistle. It will choke you and it won't be good for you. So this can be a little bit dangerous. When you're shooting in a competition, a blowgun competition, you're going to mark your colors, you're going to mark your darts. So similar to darts, you're going to be shooting with maybe 3 or 4 other women, and so you want to know which ones are yours, especially if you hit the bullseye. You want to know, that is my dart, give me my points. So these are just a few pictures of me and my cousins. We compete usually once a year at Cherokee holiday. There's a blowgun tournament my uncle started, and our family just kind of keeps that tradition going. There's a women's, men's, and now there's children. This is another good picture. The women stand usually about anywhere from 30 to 40 feet away from the target, and the men's stand anywhere from 50 to 60 feet. You kind of have to be careful. Sometimes there'll be little kids running behind there, and we always try to keep it clear so they don't get shot. So let's see. And then there's a picture. This is my uncle here in the middle, shooting with 2 other men. You can see he kind of jazzed his up, and his is really, really long. So it's really just a personal preference on the size or the length of the blowgun. I'm going to demonstrate the blowgun for you really quickly. This is how I would teach students. So again, like I said, you're going to find the smaller hole or the smaller end, and that's the side you're going to blow from. Usually at most competitions, you're going to have 3 chances or 3 darts. You want to fluff up your dart so that this part is fluffy. You're going to tap it to the edge, just like that. And when you aim, you're going to aim, I'm really close to the target, but normally you'd be further. When you breathe in, you want to make sure that you're not inhaling this. So you can either breathe through your nose like, and then blow out, or you can breathe from the side and go, and then blow. So I'll just demonstrate. So you get 1 chance, and then the second one. And then your last one. And sometimes you'll have 2 to 3, sometimes 4 women all shooting at the same time. And you don't go get your darts until everybody's done, because you want to be safe. Yay, got the target. This one I would get 20, 40, and then surely this isn't a bullseye, so this is probably 40. So that would be 80 points. And so you would tell your scorekeeper 80, and they would mark it down. And usually in a competition, you're the first one to 300 or 500, depending on how they score it, will be the winner. So that's it. That's a blowgun contest. If you want to know more about Keetoowahs, I put some resources here. This is a really great book that I always go to if I have questions about my tribe. And then there's their website. The Keetoowahs have a really great website, and they have a really great newspaper. And so they've done a really great job at their social media as well, and they have a really great just a really good media department now. So, and you can find them at Facebook at United Keetoowah Band. And I thank you so much on behalf of me and my family. We say Wado. Thank you.